Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a more direct comparison between the Dunu Kima 2 as well as the SIVGA Que. First off, I'm going to go and put some notes on the screen. These notes, they're not as polished because it's just a lot more work for two different IEMs, but all the information you need will be on there. So information about bass, sub bass, female vocals, male vocals, soundstage, things like that, they're all going to be there and compared. Okay, so let's talk about bass first. So in terms of bass, I would actually give both of these a ranking of A. But please note, I'm not as picky on bass as other people. I'm not like, oh, well, the bass has to be like this and this and this. I'm like, no. To me, bass is like, here's my bar of bass, okay? Bass means if it's like, it's got to be at least average, you know? And then B is like, oh, that's good bass. And A is like, yeah, that's good, man. That's good. We're kicking. And to me, what I don't like on bass is the bass you see on like neutral bright sets, which are kind of like the lean bass, or, you know, it's got a lot of quality in bass, but not a lot of quantity. That kind of bass sucks. I don't like that bass. So these do not have that. These actually have good bass. So I would actually rank this a grade of A. However, I would give the edge to the SIVGA Que for bass because the bass here is a little bit more punchier, has a little bit more impact in the power, whereas this is more, it's got bass, but it's like muddled a little bit. But it's like, there's still both, I would say, a grade of A. For sub bass, I would actually say that this is, okay, so I rate sub bass a little bit different. I don't give it a grade. I just give you context. So imagine this. So this is what I call correct. So correct means this is how the audio engineer wanted the sub bass in that song to probably sound like. Like, I'm just guesstimating. That's like, in other words, that sounds correct, right? And then this is when it's basically like a little bit polite, as in like the sub bass is tucked into the background and you can almost not quite hear, but it's kind of there in the background. And then this is like, where is it? I can't even really hear it. And then this is above correct, as in like, oh, well, that ain't correct, but that's fun. Where the sub bass is like, it's a little bit more fun. It's not quite correct, but it's a little bit more fun. And then right here is Beats by Dre. Beats by Dre means like, you're like, oh, well, that ain't exactly neutral, but okay, that's fun. So the way that the SIVGA Que is, I feel like it's more correct. As in like, that's probably how that sub bass is supposed to sound like in that song. Whereas with the Dunu Kima 2, it's definitely above correct. So in layman's terms, what this means is that the Dunu Kima 2 seems to have more sub bass compared to the SIVGA Que. So another thing, now let's talk female vocals. So the way I grade female vocals is as follows: grade of S, A, B, C, and F. So I don't believe in anything that's like below average. I don't do like C minus or D or whatever. Like, it's just like, no, you failed. Like, you failed. And so you'll notice a lot of things will fail on this channel. That's just, I don't care. Basically, it's got to be at least average. B means it's good. Like, you know, A is like, it is like, damn, that's awesome. That's really good, but it's not quite. S is like special, like something unique, something like, whoa. And there's not many IEMs that can do this. So some examples of IEMs that have S for female vocals would be Misty Blue, Software Studio 4, Kiwi Ear Astral, like kind of very special in the way it sounds. So I would actually rank SIVGA Que as S, even today. Well, it was only just a week ago, but this is, the way it does female vocals is a very special way it does it. It just sounds amazing. Whereas I would give Dunu Kima 2 a grade of A. Now, what is interesting is that, and I saw Audio Amigo's review on this, and he was saying that the Kima 2, he thinks the Kima 2 are better. I don't think they are, actually. I actually think the SIVGA Que is better, and I'll tell you why. This is important, at least for me. In the song, in any sort of songs, when I like to check this one thing where everything comes in at once, and I like to see how both IEMs can handle it. So with the Dunu Kima 2, when too much things happen at once, it gets messy. It doesn't know what to do. So everything just sounds like a blur, right? Whereas with the SIVGA Que, what happens is you can separate the voices from the beat in the background to the music in the background to the chairs rolling around. It's like everything has a distinct, you know where everything is. And everything, even when it all comes out at once, everything is cohesive. You know what it is. Whereas this, it just feels like whatever's. But I do want to say that both of these have really full vocals. They're on point when it comes to female vocals. But the SIVGA Que to me has a slight little like clarity to it, but in a way where it's not, I hate that bright sound. It's not like that. It's like kind of like, it's just clear but also detailed, but it's full at the same time, which in my opinion is hard for many IEMs to do. Many IEMs, they go too much in one direction. They usually go like too warm, then everything sounds fuzzy and like really not detailed, or it's like, super bright, and I don't like that. But this does the right balance. This is kind of veering in that area where like it's nice and full, but sometimes it can get a little bit fuzzy sometimes. So I do personally like the SIVGA Que better for female vocals. For I would say Soundstage, this has they both I would say are average in terms of Soundstage, but I would say the SIVGA Que feels like it's a little bit wider. For male vocals, I would actually give it's a pretty substantial edge to the Dunu Kima 2. So Dunu Kima 2, I would say, well, I would give a ranking of A for male vocals, but I would say the Dunu Kima 2 male vocals sound they just sound good. Like they just sound like, that's right. Like that's perfect. And I think it's worth mentioning this is special because many IEMs focus or are weak in one or the other, right? So I would say, for example, some IEMs sound really, really good with male vocals, but they can't quite do female vocals. Or some IEMs can do female vocals really well, but they don't do male vocals very well. These have a good balance of both of them. Lastly, when it comes to Sibilance, their scores are pretty similar, but I would say that when you look at it, it gets a little bit slightly more harsh on the Dunu Kima 2, but both of these are actually pretty good at dealing with Sibilance, in my opinion. So that's that. The last section, this is where I actually wear the IEMs, and then I speak into the microphone, and I listen back to my voice to see what is it doing to my voice. Because what it does to my voice is usually how it affects other male vocals. Incidentally, both of them kind of sound similar. They both have a warm and smooth tonality to my voice, and that's what it's doing to male vocals. And what we'll do next is actually go over some microphone. Alrighty, so I'm going to do a microphone comparison. This is not how this IEM sounds. I'm just using this for contrast so you guys can really tell the difference. But when I listen to the Dunu Kima 2, it doesn't sound like this. This is more of a thin sort of sound you more hear on like Harman style IEMs. But now I'm going to switch to more of a smoother tonality. So hello, microphone check, testing 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but this is kind of actually how it sounds more like. This is like a smoother kind of tonality to it, and this is what it sounds like. So this is what it's doing to male vocals. So